My brother made a bet with me. If I could win over his boss, he'd give me 100 grand. But I just slept with him instead. I woke up, still drunk, and saw a weakened Sam on the bed. A cold sweat broke out all over me. His hands were cuffed to the headboard, his uniform rumpled and creased, covered in hickeys and scratch marks. It was brutal. I tiptoed off the bed, but suddenly he broke free of the cuffs and pulled me into his arms. Burning hot. Sleep with me and run? No. His lips found mine again, cool and soft, with a hint of alcohol. Turns out he was drunk last night too. He pushed his tongue past my lips, and I was forced to open my mouth as he sucked hard, his tongue exploring the roof of my mouth and under my tongue. I started to feel dizzy. Then let's continue. He reached down my legs, his hand wandering in the damp, steamy area. Kneading, rubbing, waves of pleasure washed over me. Don't move. He nibbled at my neck, a smile spreading across his face. You're made of water, so sensitive. So embarrassing. My face turned beet red, and I squirmed my legs restlessly. Stop talking, just take it out. He let go, his voice a seductive whisper in my ear, what's your name? I snapped back to reality. How could I tell him my name? The last person who tried to sleep with him got laughed at and became the joke of the entire military base. I was afraid of the humiliation. I pushed him away with all my strength and ran for it. Sam was known as the cool, aloof heartthrob of the base. He came from a field unit, was already a lieutenant colonel in his early 30s, and was ruggedly handsome. The line of people chasing him could stretch for blocks. But I'd been after him for a month and couldn't even get his WhatsApp. Yesterday, I got drunk, stormed into his room, and threw a fit, asking him why he didn't like me. Turns out he was drunk too, and things just happened. Alcohol and lust are my downfall. Luckily, his eyes were injured and he was temporarily blind, so he couldn't recognize me. I didn't dare tell my brother. Bad enough I didn't win over his boss, but to sleep with him and run? Mortifying. My phone buzzed. It was my brother. He thought I was moving too slow and wanted to give me a hand. He told me to go change Sam's bandages. The unit was on leave, and I'd gone with my brother and his buddies to a hunting lodge. Sam had injured his eyes and was recovering at a guest house. He was leaning against the headboard, showered and in a clean shirt, looking cool and distinguished. I walked up to him. He smelled faintly of mint. Who are you? I removed the gauze from his eyes and changed his dressing. It's Lily. My brother was busy, so he sent me. His face was very close to mine. Suddenly, he said, drink less. Huh. I did smell like alcohol. A smirk played on his lips. Be careful, or someone might take advantage of you. I felt a pang of guilt, staring at the hickey on his collarbone. My face flushed. Who took advantage of whom was still up for debate. Someone was at the door. It was his childhood sweetheart. Sam, are your eyes any better? Excuse me. Though Sam was blind, his instincts were sharp. He grabbed my waist with one hand, an arm around my shoulder with the other, and lifted me into the bed, tucking me under the covers. He held my head down, and my lips accidentally brushed against his hot skin. His hard abs rose and fell faintly with his breath. Possessed by some demon, I opened my mouth and bit his abs. His body tensed instantly. He stiffly reached out to cover my mouth, stopping my mischief. This looked exactly like a secret rendezvous, but why was he hiding me? Sam, I'm so worried about you. Thanks, I'm fine. He was holding my mouth too tight, I couldn't breathe. Annoyed, I kicked my legs. His childhood sweetheart gasped, who's in your bed? Sam lifted a corner of the blanket, revealing only my head. He circled an arm around me, his fingertips brushing my lips, a suggestive, sexy gesture. My girlfriend. She's tired from, so she's resting. It was obvious what tired her out. She burst into tears. I've liked you for 10 years, and I still can't compare to her? Furious, she rushed forward to hit me. I shrank back into his arms, terrified. Sam chuckled as if I were a coward, patting my back soothingly, but his words were harsh. I haven't touched you in 10 years, but I slept with Lily. Don't you get it? Jerk. She ran off crying. He let me go, smiling apologetically. I owe you one. What do you want? I was furious. He used me as a shield. I shot back, you can't afford what I want. He laughed freely. Like what? You. I fumed. I want you. Before I could finish, he unbuttoned my collar with one hand, his palm tracing my collarbone to the nape of my neck, pulling me close to his ear, forceful. Want me? Maybe another day. I'm beat today. Let go of me. My face burned red all the way to my ears. I scrambled to push him away, stumbling over my words. I mean, I want you to like me. He leaned back, his sexy Adam's apple bobbing. I already like someone, he said, his tone intriguing, but she doesn't know it. He had a secret crush too. My spirits plummeted. I felt deflated. So much for that 100 grand. Sam's eyes recovered, and we went hunting in the mountains. I was paired with him. His prayer beads fell under a tree. As he bent to pick them up, a poisonous snake coiled on a branch lunged at his neck. Watch out. I grabbed his shoulder and pulled him back. The snake missed, and we both tumbled into a deep training pit. He was surprised. Why did you save me? Aren't you afraid of snakes? Of course, I am, but I'm also afraid of you dying from a snake bite. His eyes lit up, his gaze growing hotter. Did he recognize me? I quickly looked down. He picked up the prayer beads and put them on. I'd seen those beads before. They were a birthday gift from his childhood sweetheart. Don't listen to him saying he doesn't like his childhood sweetheart. He wears the things she gives him often enough. And he says he likes someone else? Pfft, player. I suddenly flared up. I twisted my ankle saving you. He glanced at my bruised and bleeding ankle. Idiot. Always impulsive, never thinking of the consequences. What could one snake do to me? My eyes welled up with tears. You're yelling at me? Hey, little brat, don't cry. He sighed and knelt, placing my leg on his knee. He took out some antiseptic from his bag, poured it into his palm, and started treating my ankle. Ouch, be gentle. I wanted to pull my foot back from the pain, but he held it firm. He looked up at me, his eyes full of amusement. Never tell a man to be gentle, understand? I remembered telling him to be gentle that night, my face instantly flushed, and I wanted to kick him. Then the dirt mound loosened, and I lost my balance, falling onto him. He went with my momentum and lay down, his fingers finding the fabric at my waist. His gun-holding hand had a callus, and he deftly pushed aside the obstructive clothing, entering the peach blossom spring, making embarrassing, sticky sounds. My body went limp, and I pleaded in his arms, "Don't mess around, we're outdoors." Sam chuckled, pinching my cheek. You go all soft with one touch. You don't look very what? Durable, for, you know. Shut up. My face felt like it was on fire. I didn't dare look at him. You're like a little bunny, such a scaredy cat, always crying, and easily embarrassed. He sighed. You're a handful. My heart pounded. He could stir my emotions with just a few words. But I still had a knot in my heart, and I asked him seriously. Do you really like someone? He nodded. For a long time. Damn jerk. I pushed him away and sat as far from him as possible. I don't care about people who don't like me. He teased me nonchalantly, why don't you ask who I like? None of my business. He liked someone else but was still flirting with me. Such a jerk. Suddenly, a tall soldier in camo appeared above us, holding a gun in one hand and a rabbit in the other. Lieutenant Colonel Sam, what are you two doing here? His young, handsome face had the bright smile of a college student. I was captivated. He looked exactly like my first love, the one that got away, who had passed away. I'm so in love. I reached out to him. Hey soldier, I twisted my ankle. Can you carry me? Kevin? Sam was too much of a jerk. I didn't want my brother's 100 grand anymore. I'm going after the look-alike of my first love. Kevin was a sunny, cheerful guy, much simpler and cuter than Sam. He rolled up his sleeves, revealing tanned forearms, and carried me back, his arms strong and steady. Loved it. I asked him to barbecue with me that night. I'll grill you a rabbit. What flavor do you want? Kevin put me down, grinning foolishly as he straightened my clothes. I stood on tiptoe and kissed his cheek. Spicy. Kevin's eyes were all on me, a silly, priceless grin on his face as he shyly scurried off with the rabbit. Sam walked past me, his face expressionless. Whatever. If you don't like me, I'll find someone else. I put on a high-slit slip dress and man-killer makeup, looking sultry and alluring. Tonight, I'm conquering Kevin. I'm going to tease him until he's crying and begging big sis. But as soon as I opened the door, a tall man pulled me into his arms. It was that cool, minty scent. He pressed me hard against the hallway railing, his palm on my lower back, his rough fingertips tracing circles on the small of my back. Lily, why are you messing with other men? I jumped. Can't I like him? Like him? His suppressed anger exploded. He kneed my legs apart and easily ripped my skirt. Kevin is just downstairs. Shout louder, let him hear how I'm gonna. Fuck. You. Holy crap. Is he crazy? In the hallway? I clutched my skirt tightly. What gives you the right? You can do whatever you want, but I can't give guys equal love? Sam's expression crumbled. Equal love? Who else do you like? He slapped my exposed thigh, and with a little force, tore my black stockings, his fingers brushing my butt. I said defiantly, I like someone else too, but he doesn't like me. Sam, who is it that you like? Only then did I notice he was wearing a white t-shirt and sweatpants. Though he was a tough guy, this outfit made him look like he was in his 20s, but his eyes had a cunning depth that the younger Kevin lacked. But Kevin looked so much like my lost first love. If I can't get Sam, can't I go after Kevin? I'm going to sleep with Kevin. His hand stopped, moving away from my leg. He sneered, bad behavior. Go write a self-criticism, 5,000 words, turn it in to me tomorrow. I was stunned. I'm not his soldier. Why should I write a self-criticism? I pushed him away and ran downstairs. I'm going to barbecue with Kevin. I'm not writing it. Then you can leave the hunting grounds tomorrow. He was the boss here. If he told me to leave, I couldn't stay. He successfully reeled me back in. Angrily, I deliberately stepped on his clean white sneakers. I didn't expect him not to dodge, he just took the hit. Still fuming, I glared at him. You're too much. Sam said coldly, 10,000 words, due tomorrow. If you dare plagiarize, it doubles. My hand was already sore after writing 1,000 words when I heard Kevin's voice outside. Lily, why aren't you at the barbecue? I grilled some for you. Open the door. I practically teleported to the door, flicked my slit skirt, and leaned on his shoulder. It's the fresh and delicious soldier boy. Kevin's eyes widened in panic. Don't say that. I'm a man, how can you describe me as fresh and delicious? Oh, right. I meant the spicy rabbit. So innocent, just like my first love. I stood on tiptoe, trying to kiss him, but I couldn't reach. Unexpectedly, while Kevin stood ramrod straight, he subtly bent down, offering his cheek to me. An innocent little puppy offering himself up. How could I not kiss him? Just as I was about to, the security camera overhead blinked. I had a feeling someone was watching me. It creeped me out, gave me goosebumps, and I didn't dare kiss him. Seeing me stare at the camera, Kevin straightened up. There's plenty of time. Shall we eat the rabbit first? Good idea. Gotta eat to have energy. Energy for what? For stuff. Just as Kevin was about to follow me into the room, he suddenly stood at attention and nodded towards the next door. Lieutenant Colonel Sam. Sam lifted his chin slightly. The rabbit looks good. Bring it in. Trying to steal my food? Not a chance. The rabbit is mine. Sam let out a sarcastic "oh" and looked at Kevin, exuding his usual air of authority. Kevin hesitated for a moment, then took the rabbit into Sam's room. Lieutenant Colonel Sam, please enjoy. He apologized to me, sorry, Lily. I'll go hunt another one for you. Sam just loves to use his rank to bully people. I didn't want the rabbit, I wanted Kevin. I waved my hand. No need. Just come in and help me write something. It's boring doing it alone. Seeing I wasn't angry, Kevin beamed again, happily following me into the room. Bang. Sam slammed his door, much louder than usual. So weird. Kevin gave me a meaningful look. Lieutenant Colonel Sam is very angry. He was angry that I wasn't chasing him anymore. But he had someone he liked, so how was I supposed to keep chasing him? I'm not going to be his doormat. I pushed the pen and paper in front of Kevin. 10,000 words. You're up. Kevin, being the good boy he was, started writing without complaint. I lay on the bed, striking a sexy pose, sipping some wine for courage. Hurry up, soldier boy. Kevin's pen paused, then his writing speed unconsciously picked up. But before he could finish, I got drunk and fell asleep. When I woke up, I was covered with a blanket, my clothes intact, and Kevin was gone. I was speechless. What a genuinely innocent soldier boy. I knocked on Sam's door to give him the self-criticism paper. He had just come back from his morning run and a shower, a towel still wrapped around his waist. Water droplets trickled from his damp hair, down his neck, over his abs, along his V-line, and disappeared into a hidden area. Bulging, so sexy. My nose suddenly felt hot, and I got a nosebleed. Oh God, so embarrassing. Sam was taken aback for a moment, then teased, well, aren't you something? I tried to explain, I'm just a bit overheated. How could I not be overheated after getting that drunk yesterday? Embarrassed, I wanted to run, but he grabbed me and pulled me into the bathroom. He turned on the faucet, pressed my neck down, and cupped water in his hand to wash away the blood. My eyes were blurry with water, and I fumbled around for a towel. My hand grabbed one, I wiped my face, and when I opened my eyes, Sam's face was dark. I looked down. That wasn't a towel. It was his towel. Thank goodness he was wearing dark blue boxer shorts. I breathed a sigh of relief. My hand slipped. Who are you kidding? Sam narrowed his eyes, lifted me up, and smirked. According to military regulations, all forms of sexual harassment are prohibited. Violators will face disciplinary action or criminal charges. Lily, what do you have to say for yourself? I fawningly picked up the towel and wrapped it around him, deliberately trying to annoy him. Lieutenant Colonel, you're overreacting. It was an accident. I'll cover you up now. Besides, there's not much to see anyway. Sam's face darkened with anger. He grabbed my waist and pinned me against the sink. He used so much force, it felt like he was going to snap my waist in two. Not much to see. Whose else have you seen? Kevin's? When my brother and I used to study films, I'd seen plenty. What size hadn't I seen? Yours is just average. But I didn't dare say it out loud. I winced in pain and quickly begged for mercy. No one. I wouldn't dare look at anyone else. I was wrong. You're handsome. Everything about you is handsome. He snatched my 10,000 word self-criticism and mercilessly threw me out. I got ready and went downstairs but didn't see Kevin. I asked my brother where Kevin went. My brother looked confused too. Sam said Kevin violated military discipline, had his leave cancelled, and was sent back to the base for extra training. And to the toughest grassroots unit too. He's going to be put through the ringer. No idea what he did wrong though. Oh no, he got caught helping me write the self-criticism. Even though Kevin's imitation of my handwriting was good, you could still see the energetic strokes of his pen, while my handwriting was delicate. I was furious. My replacement first love disappeared before I even got a chance with him. Sam was a man of his word. My punishment doubled, a 20,000-word self-criticism. To supervise me, he made me write it in his room. If I slacked off, he'd scold me. Absolutely insane. Even on vacation, he had work to do. When he finished, he leaned back in his chair, closing his eyes to rest. When he was quiet, he had the air of a nobleman, the charm of a mature man. I put down my pen and quietly tiptoed closer to him. My heart pounded nervously because of him. He was asleep, his tightly pressed lips rosy and thin. A quick peck probably wouldn't be noticed, right? I quickly pecked him on the lips. Sam. I called his name, but he didn't wake up. 3 buttons of his shirt were undone, and he leaned back relaxed, his neck long and smooth, with a scar on his collarbone. I leaned down and kissed the scar, and suddenly the door burst open. Startled, my foot slipped, and I stumbled towards the corner of the table. Just as my forehead was about to hit it, a strong hand grabbed my waist, pulled me back, and I ended up sitting in his lap. Sam held my waist and looked at the intruder, somewhat annoyed. It was his childhood sweetheart, Bella. She was pretty and innocent looking, wearing a white camellia tube dress, with a pure but tempting makeup look, and carrying red wine and a gift. Last time she saw me lying in his bed, and now she saw me sitting in his lap. She looked thunderstruck and took a long moment to speak. I heard from Kevin that he likes Lily, so you two aren't a couple. You were lying to me, weren't you? Sam tapped his fingers rhythmically on my waist. What is it? He's such a player. He didn't answer her directly. Was he trying to string her along? Sure enough, Bella saw the man-killer lipstick mark on Sam's collarbone, and glistening tears welled up in her eyes. She said pitifully, Sam, I just have some work to discuss with you. She probably just missed him. Work was just an excuse to make me leave. I wanted to see too, between me and his childhood sweetheart, who would he choose? Sam put me down, took my self-criticism paper, and then, turning his head, saw the lipstick mark on his collarbone in the mirror. He raised an eyebrow at me, a warning look in his eyes for my antics. Lily, you go out first. He chose his childhood sweetheart. Looks like he still likes her. I went out and eavesdropped at the door. Bella was pouring out her heart to him, and Sam didn't say a word. Suddenly, there was a thud against the door, the sound of something hitting it. Keep eavesdropping, and you'll keep writing self-criticisms. 20,000 words were already killing me. Any more and I'd go crazy. I quickly scrammed. Bella suggested going to the skeet shooting range. Everyone knew that although Bella was a civilian employee in the army, she was very good at shooting. She intended to show off in front of everyone. In their eyes, I was a good-for-nothing rich kid, a useless person who got a civilian job in the army through connections, and I always just scraped by in training and assessments. There was disdain in Bella's eyes. It seemed her chat with Sam last night went well. She asked me, want to play? I shook my head no. Leo, her loyal admirer, was next to her. Seeing I wasn't going, he mocked me, Bella, why are you asking her? A useless rich kid, you expect her to know how to shoot. Bella scoffed, it's better if you don't. Wouldn't want you to get hurt. Sam tossed me a sun hat. Lily, don't wander off. Guns don't have eyes. He went to pick a shotgun. Everyone's jaws dropped. Bella frowned even harder. My brother pulled me aside and whispered. Did you get him? I shook my head. Then why does he care about you? I sighed. Maybe he's trying to make someone else jealous. After all, he liked Bella and even made me leave for her. The shooting range was the size of a soccer field. They formed a group of 6 to play a difficult version of multi-directional skeet shooting, taking turns at 5 different shooting stations. Sam stood with his legs apart, tall and long-legged, a dazzling presence on the field, attracting many women. The clay pigeon launcher threw out an orange target. He raised his shotgun, and within 0. For seconds, he completed the sequence of mounting the gun, aiming, and shooting it down, clean, swift, and with lightning reflexes. In one round of 25 targets, Sam hit 24, my brother hit 21, Bella 20, and Leo 19. After 5 rounds, Sam hit 122 targets. The total for men's multi-directional skeet shooting is only 125 targets. That's him all right. A score like that is professional level. Bella opened a bottle of water and handed it to him, her face full of admiration. You're amazing. You could compete in shooting competitions. Isn't that the truth? Our Lieutenant Colonel Sam's professional skills are top-notch. He once wiped out the enemy's base during a drill. That's Sam's style, all right, precise, accurate, ruthless. Sam was a golden boy. He was tired of these clichés and showed no expression. He didn't take Bella's water and even deliberately avoided her. He wiped the sweat from his hands and reached out to me. Lily, come here. I'll teach you how to shoot. Learn some self-defense skills. My whole body resisted. I just wanted to slack off and lie flat. But intimidated by his authority, I walked over and picked up the shotgun. He explained the basics, but I shot terribly, not hitting a single target. Bella tried to persuade him, forget it. At this level, teaching her is a waste of time. I was sweaty and hot and didn't want to play anymore, so I nodded along. Yeah, just spare me. Sam wrapped his arms around me from behind. His post-workout sweat didn't smell bad, his unique minty scent filled the air. One hand rested on my trigger guard, the other held my forearm. He was close to my ear, his breath brushing against it, tugging at my heartstrings. I leaned softly into his embrace. He had to stand firm to support me. Focus your gaze, keep your arms steady. Hitting even one is a victory. Lily, remember, once you raise the gun, there's no turning back. On the battlefield, the enemy won't spare you. Indeed, there's no turning back after raising the gun. He guided my hand, adjusted the angle, and pulled the trigger. Bang, bang, the shots rang out, hitting the targets. I turned my head happily, and my lips accidentally brushed his cheek. Sam froze for a second, his hand on my arm unconsciously tightening, making my wrist ache. I pulled away from him. This time I didn't kiss you on purpose. Do you have to pinch me in retaliation? I didn't. For once, there was a flustered look on his face. Bella glared at me, annoyed. Sam is kind enough to teach you, and you repay kindness with ingratitude? If you can't shoot, just go back and enjoy the AC. Leo also chimed in obnoxiously, rich kid, don't waste time here. If you need Lieutenant Colonel Sam to hit a target for you, then don't embarrass yourself. I flared up. You little twerp, open your eyes and watch. Big sis will show you what a natural talent looks like. I took off Sam's sunglasses and put them on to reduce the glare. I raised the shotgun. The launcher threw several orange targets simultaneously. I aimed, pulled the trigger, and the shots rang out, every bullet found its mark. The moment a target appeared, I predicted the trajectory of the next one, hitting them accurately with muscle memory. Holy crap. 24 hits. My brother's jaw dropped in amazement. Sis, you're as good as Sam. When did you secretly get so good behind my back? I looked at Leo and Bella and smiled. When I was hitting targets, you guys were still practicing stationary shooting. Sam genuinely smiled for once. He was usually stern, but who knew he had 2 dimples when he smiled? It softened his imposing aura and added a touch of cuteness. He praised me, "You're full of surprises." "I have many surprises you don't know about, Your Majesty. When I get serious, I can be the top female in the military assessments." Sweaty and tired, I ran back to the car to cool down, feeling an unfriendly gaze on my back, but I paid it no mind. After they finished shooting, they went hunting in the mountains. I tagged along, just slacking off. A hawk circled in the sky. Leo said to Bella, "I'll shoot it down for you." "Okay," Bella said, giving him an encouraging look, then glanced at Sam. Actually, Sam liked birds of prey like hawks. Bella was just trying to offer someone else's gift. Poor Leo was being used as a pawn and was still happily oblivious. Leo raised his gun and shot. The hawk shrieked and fell straight down. We estimated its landing spot and headed east. When we arrived, we ran into a bear. It was to our left, we were to our right, and behind us was a cliff. Damn it, the smell of blood was too strong and attracted it. Encountering a wild bear in the mountains, you're lucky to escape with your life. Move slowly, fall back. Sam gestured for us to retreat, and we moved back bit by bit, careful not to make any sudden movements. Bella was terrified. Her hand trembled, and she accidentally pulled the trigger, hitting the black bear. But the bear's hide was thick, it wasn't injured, just enraged, thinking we were trying to steal its food. Holy crap. My brother cursed under his breath. "Bella, why did you shoot it?" Bella's face turned pale with fright. "It was an accident." "Sam, what do we do?" The bear was already roaring and charging at us. "Move. Leo, protect them and retreat first." Sam gestured, and he and my brother flanked the bear. The bear was furious and seemed to know my brother was weaker. It swatted him away with one paw. Just as it was about to kill my brother, Sam slid past its side, kicked my brother out of the way, and deftly dodged the bear. Leo led us in a quick retreat. As we passed the cliff, the rocks and soil seemed a bit loose. Bella and Leo exchanged a look and stopped. "Lily," Bella suddenly called out to me. "What's wrong?" Just as I turned my head, a force kicked me, sending me flying. I flew off the cliff, and as I fell, I saw her retract her long leg, a hateful smile on her face. "You shouldn't have tried to steal Sam from me. He's mine." I couldn't help but scream, falling like a broken kite. Below the cliff was a large river. If I hit the water horizontally, my internal organs would be crushed. With all my strength, in the nick of time, I curled into a ball and entered the water vertically. I finally managed to climb ashore, exhausted and out of breath. My backpack was washed away, and without communication tools, I couldn't find them. Luckily, I had a Type 95 bayonet tucked in my boot for self-defense. It was noon. I figured out my direction and headed south. At the end would be the intersection of the hunting grounds and the highway. I'd be safe there. But Bella, you actually tried to kill me for a man? What kind of crazy, love-obsessed psycho is this? Terrifying. As the sun set, I was finally approaching the intersection, but 4 men were blocking it, smoking boredly. When they saw me, they tightened their grip on their knives and clubs. From their stance to their demeanor, they looked like common thugs. I caught my breath. Bella really was thorough. Afraid I'd survived, she even sent people to wait for me here. Bella sent you to kill me, right? Whatever she's paying you, I'll give you 10 times more. The bald one was their leader. He grinned lewdly. This isn't about money. We just do her favors. She told us to have our way with you and then bury you. You're beautiful, so it's no loss for us. I gripped the Type 95 bayonet hidden in my sleeve, launched a surprise flying kick at the man on the edge, blocked with my left hand, and struck with the knife in my right. The blade sliced across another man's abdomen, drawing blood. 2 weaklings down. But the remaining short guy and the bald one were tough. They had stun batons and professional capture nets. Bella didn't say she was this tough. Damn, 2 of my brothers are hurt. Cut the crap, tase her. I had been walking for too long and was exhausted. No matter how good my fighting skills were, I couldn't withstand stun batons and capture nets. They tied me up and were about to strip my clothes. Enduring the pain, I said, "I'm Sam's girlfriend. He's a stickler for details. If you dare touch me, not even Bella can save you. Sam is a ruthless man, he'll definitely kill you." The injured guy kicked me. "You bitch, Sam will never know we killed you." The bald guy puckered his stinking lips to kiss me, while the short one was pulling at my pants. I mustered all my strength, wrapped my legs around the short guy's neck, flipped over, and twisted, breaking it. Although I didn't have enough strength to kill him, at least his neck was crooked. "Damn it, boss, kill her. If we don't kill her, we'll have failed our injured brothers." Ugh, disgusting. Except for the bald one, the other three were basically useless. He tossed me several more times, and the pain made it hard to breathe. "Bitch, I can't be bothered to play with you. Just die." He raised an iron bar to smash my head. A gunshot rang out, piercing the bald man's arm, and blood spurted. "Drop your weapons. Hands up and surrender, or I'll shoot." Sam, holding a gun, walked towards me step by step, his cool eyes filled with rage. Seeing things weren't going his way, the bald guy dived into the water. "After him. Bring him back alive." Sam waved his hand, and the soldiers behind him jumped into the water, quickly apprehending the bald man. The other three were also captured. "Lily?" Sam rushed towards me, checked my injuries, and breathed a sigh of relief when he confirmed I had no fatal wounds. When he saw the stun baton, his eyes suddenly turned fierce. He gave my brother a look, and my brother understood, instructing, "Make them confess their crimes properly, then hand them over to the police. Beat them to within an inch of their lives." Sam picked me up and headed towards the military hospital. I leaned against him, whimpering. "It hurts so much. If you'd been any later, you'd be collecting my corpse." "I'm sorry." Luckily, I made it in time. I cried defiantly, "It's all your childhood sweetheart's fault. If you like her, just marry her. Why take it out on me?" Sam was stunned. "Who told you I like Bella?" I cried even louder. "You said yourself you like someone." Sam didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He wiped away my tears. "Silly girl, the one I like is the little bunny who slept with me." "Such a coward, sleeping with me and then running away, huh?" My crying stopped. I blinked, speechless. So he knew it was me all along? My brother smiled knowingly and scolded me jokingly, "Silly girl, if Sam didn't like you, would I dare offer you 100 grand to chase him? I wouldn't have the guts even if you gave me 10. Even if he was drunk, if he wasn't willing, with your skills, could you have cuffed him to the headboard?" So my brother knew all along too? Was I the only one in the dark? No wonder when I was drunk and cuffed him, he only struggled a bit before letting me do whatever I wanted. "Get lost." Sam kicked him. My brother dodged and got even more excited. "It was this old fox who asked me to bring you hunting. He's been after you for a long time. Sam, if you like my sister, just say so. Why play this old fox catches the bunny game?" Pfft, so manipulative. No wonder he called me, little bunny. Enough, any more and I'll die of embarrassment. I buried my head in Sam's chest and played dead. My brother kept muttering beside me, "Bella said you fell off a cliff." I was scared out of my wits. "Sis, you didn't see it, Sam was going crazy trying to find you. He treasures you." "Oh, it was Bella who pushed me." My brother was dumbfounded. Those 4 thugs were the best witnesses. Bella couldn't escape. I was lying on the sofa, recovering from my injuries, when Sam came back and hung his jacket on the rack. He rolled up his sleeves, took off his prayer beads, took my hand, and put them on me. "This was Bella's birthday gift to you. Why are you giving it to me?" He looked startled for a moment, then shook his head. "This is a family heirloom of the Shin family. It was left at Bella's place once, and she returned it to me. I saw you that day too. You were behind her, looking at me timidly, so shy. I remembered. That day was Sam's 30th birthday, and a group of people were celebrating at his house. Back then, Sam was stern and rarely smiled. I was quite afraid of him, so I didn't dare look at him. I saw Bella had packaged the prayer beads beautifully and thought it was her gift. I boldly stretched out my leg, my dress sliding down a bit, and pointed my delicate toes at his chest, slowly unbuttoning his green uniform collar. You gave me your family heirloom. Does that mean you like me? Sam grabbed my ankle, his breathing a bit ragged, his eyes avoiding mine. Don't mess around. Focus on recovering. He can still sit still after all that? I grabbed his tie, pulled him closer, and sat on his lap. Sam, are you not up to it? Sam's large hand rested on my lower back, pulling me sharply against him. He deliberately rubbed his knee against me. Lily, don't come crying to me later. Just try me and see if I'm up to it. He pulled off his tie and blindfolded me, then leaned down and bit my neck, his voice husky. Your kissing technique is terrible. I'll teach you. Huh? My face turned even redder. I was actually looking forward to it. His rough fingers touched my lips, and the warm, gentle kiss gradually became unreasonable. He reached out and slowly pulled open my dress. Silly girl, can't you tell I like you? He was usually so cold, how could I tell? I don't know what liking someone is, but when I heard you fell off the cliff, I panicked like I'd lost my soul. There was an empty space in my heart, like I'd lost my life-saving gun on the battlefield. I know you want me to say it, but looking at you, I can't bring myself to. I smiled. He was actually quite cute. He tossed and turned me endlessly, coaxing me, good Lily, call me hubby. My eyelids were heavy with exhaustion. I mumbled hubby. I just wanted him to finish quickly, but I didn't expect that hubby to reignite the old flame. I was drifting in and out of sleep. He gently patted my back, his voice soft and lingering. While you're asleep, I'll secretly tell you. Little bunny, I love you. I immediately perked up and texted my brother. He said he loves me on his own. Transfer the 100 grand. Sam's stern face was tinged with anger. Am I less important than 100 grand? How could that be? Money and love are equally important.